Okay, and I'm recording on this thing. Cool. Here we go.
Hi, kids.
Are we starting?
Yeah, I said the first thing, Laurie.
Oh, well, you know what? You say most of the things, so I'm glad you started early.
Might as well open it up. Might as well open it up with me, the lilting laughter of my voice. We're all in our different rooms, you guys.
Yeah.
This sucks. I hate it.
Not a fan.
I don't like it. I don't like to work like this. This is not me. This is fucking bullshit. And I just want to hibernate in a cave until this fucking COVID is gone. And I don't care if it's 18 months. I'll just sleep. I need 18 months of sleep.
Yeah, you
I'll
do.
take it.
Are you supposed to work tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay. From where?
We're working from home. Yeah, we're working from home. Everyone's quarantined. Conan's quarantined too. So he's we're like doing, we weren't going to be on the air this week anyway. So we're just like doing what we would have done at the studio at home. And then he's taping shows from his house by himself starting next Monday.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, it's, I've done 2 Zoom shows. You haven't done any Zoom shows yet?
No.
Marina's done 2 Instagram shows. I've been asked to do a YouTube live show at a Facebook live show. None of YouTube live, Facebook live, and Instagram, none of them, you can't hear the laughter, the Freddie Prinze story. I don't know if you ever saw the after school special, Can You Hear the Laughter? The Freddie Prinze story, 1979.
Did not.
It's, he killed himself, you know, Freddie Prinze.
He did.
Yeah. And in Can You Hear the Laughter, there's a scene where he's doing stand-up at the store, original room, and he can't hear the laughter. And that, I don't want to do stand-up where I can't hear the laughter.
You can't hear okay, so you can't hear the audience laughing, the people that have tuned in. That's horrible. Secondly, but you can see their faces.
Yes.
No. Okay, that's awful. I want the opposite. I want a dark screen that I can't see anyone's face and I hear laughter. This is awful. This is the worst thing to ever happen to stand-up comedy, except for Chicken. May he rest in peace.
Oh,
Jackie, this isn't what we started. This isn't what we want to do. This isn't.
But do you remember
why we sacrificed everything?
Well, do you remember that when we signed up for this, we didn't know what we were signing up for then, right?
Oh, I had an idea. I mean, yeah, a little bit.
What did you think? Because I literally, first of all, I had never seen stand-up comedy except for once on Johnny Carson. And then I went and saw live comedy, the 1984, and Sam Kinison, whatever. It's a great story. See my published works. Anyway, but the thing is I didn't know what it was going to be. And so what I think it's going to change. It's going to change. I've already been paid twice to do stand-up comedy from my room. This is the room. I've set it up so there's a poster of me behind me.
That's awesome.
It's a poster from my Bread album, and then it's the cat with the glasses. Anyway, but then I like to do it during the day because then the natural light comes in to light me. And I've done 2 Zoom shows, and the Zoom shows you can hear people laughing.
I thought you said you couldn't.
You can't with Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, but you can with Zoom. But you have to see. We're doing this on Zoom as well, right?
Right.
So everybody comes into the Zoom, up to 100 people with a basic sort of kit, and whoever's hosting it can mute everybody. So when we started it, I started everybody on mute, and I said, "You guys, if you're doing the dishes, if you're not going to be if you're just going to be listening, but puttering about, turn your screen off, turn your microphone off, so I don't have to hear your dogs barking. Hear the rest."
Oh my God, Jackie! No, this isn't stand-up. This is a fucking disaster. No,
this is the disaster. Is this the
is the
Right
pandemic.
now.
Yes, globally, stand-up is taking a huge hit. Only South Korea has it under control. It's awful. This is
definitely different.
When I started, I was so nervous to talk in front of people, and I'm like, if I could just stand up there and kill, that's it. I've completed. I won. Right. That's the whole thing, is to be able to go up in front of strangers and manipulate them and make them do what you want them to do. Really, that's what it is, though. It's a lot of crowd control and getting your jokes out and what you want them to do is laugh. But that's the whole thing. That's the whole challenge. That's what's fun about it, and that's what makes you.
What's fun about it for me, it's a different challenge, right? I mean, you get on stage and I did a show today. I did a Zoom show today. And my first one. So I didn't know what the hell it was going to be, right? The other one that I did was actually a private. Anyway, but I have to put out an album at the end of this fucking year, so I have to work my bits. If I don't work the bits, they don't come together. They're not going to be a good album. So somehow I have to get people to watch it and not record it, and then somehow still buy that album in a year.
Jackie, how are you going to record an album? Where?
Well, it's not going to be a studio album, I'll tell you that fucking much.
I mean, but really, we might not be able to perform in front of a crowd of people for like a year and a half.
Well, we'll see. I refuse to live in a future that is yet to be. And so and all I can do is what I'm doing, which is preparing to record the album in November or December, which is what I was planning on doing.
Right.
And to do that, I have to do sets.
Yes.
Okay. So I scheduled a Zoom meeting. And then I wrote an elaborate fucking tweet or Facebook post, and I was like, once you send this, you have to show up in front of your goddamn computer and tell people jokes.
Right.
I was terrified. I gave myself 2 hours to have a panic attack, and then not a panic attack, and then a panic attack. And and that's exactly what happened. Andy was like, what is going on? And I'm like, well, the Asperger's hump is acting up, which is this part of my shoulder that hurts whenever I'm going to. And I can't. It's so hard. Anyway, so that's what I'm doing. And so I've done 2 shows, and they were I felt human again. I'll give you that. I don't know how you're going to live if you don't do it. Because get this, Carmen Morales today texted me. She said, can I please do a guest set on your Zoom show? Because we're monsters. We need the stage time. I need the stage time. I don't know anybody who needs the stage time more than fucking you.
Well,
for me, or 1,000.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I can't wrap my head around it just yet. You know.
Fair enough.
I have to set up. I guess I have to set up a studio in my bedroom, and I mean, here's the thing. Like we've had writers meetings on Zoom. That's what it feels like. It's like I'll just be the only speaker in a meeting, a work meeting. That's what a stand-up show is now. It's like a fucking work meeting.
No,
oh my God. It's supposed to be dirty in a nightclub with waitresses interrupting your fucking punchline, and
that's an ideal situation, except for it isn't, because an ideal situation is a theater situation where they're all sitting politely, listening to I crafted. That's my favorite thing of doing a stand-up comedy.
Well, you've done a lot of theaters, and
you gotta be able to do all of it. You got to be able to do this shit. You got to be able to do one-nighters. You got to be able to do theaters. You got to do it all. Television, radio. We're the original one-man fucking band.
You think Zoom shows are the equivalent of another, just like doing a TV spot or doing a theater or doing a one-nighter? That's what you put Zoom shows in that kind of category.
I'm going to stand by it. That's right. I'm making it up as we go along, and I'm standing by it. It's just a different version of Tribble. Let's figure this fucking out. All you got to do is point your attitude at the right problem, and then you can stand up to it and fuck them.
Wait, what? Point your attitude.
What the thing is you're thinking about, you're overthinking it, right? So you're thinking about it in a way that you're like, well, this isn't anything like anything I've ever seen before. But remember the first Super 8 you stayed at that had a bullet hole in the wall? That wasn't anything you were expecting either, right?
It wasn't far off. I mean,
you were not expecting.
Considering the gig I had just done, yeah, it all made sense. Yes. But I mean,
the first one, I'm talking about the...
No, it felt like it was part of the romance of stand-up comedy and the road part of it. Yes, it did. You asked me a question. I'm telling you, that didn't shock me. I was like, oh, it's a dump. I'm staying in a dump. And the first 2 years, you're excited to stay in dumps, right? So I wasn't from a dump, so it's like...
excited. I grew up in a dump. I don't ever want to stay in a dump again.
Okay, so now we're talking about our childhoods.
My first memory, I'm sitting on a pile of dirty laundry in an attic. So that's not a positive experience. That's what...
Wow, you had an attic. Okay, Jackie.
In Sioux Falls, South Dakota was like. That was a Muller gig for me.
Like, part of me is like, if this is stand-up, then I guess I'm done. Honestly, I
would love to see that, Laurie Kilmartin.
This isn't what I want. You know?
You just throw down. Don't feel like you gotta. It's just a different gig, man. That's all it is. How many gigs have you done where you've had to go, all right, this is a different crowd. I got to learn how to play this crowd. How many, Yeah. It's like that. So it's a pain in your ass. I'm not saying it isn't. And it's hard to change. We've been doing the same fucking kind of thing. And we've gone through so many different changes of the work. The work itself has changed. And the opportunities we've gotten because of it. Most of it for the better, right? Like you get to do TV, you get to do a good room, you get a decent hotel, this type of thing. And it feels like a weird step back. But what if it isn't? What if it's a lateral move? What if it's just a sidestep instead of a step back?
No, you're alluding to too many dance moves, and I don't believe them.
With Zoom, you can see everybody's face, right? You can mock people so much easier. The crowd work. Just think of the crowd work, Kilmartin.
Ugh, no, it's that's not.
You have a dog? Who has a dog in this audience? Well, what's your dog's name? Talk to me about. It's gonna be awesome.
No.
Don't just reject it out of hand.
We'll see. I mean, Jackie, we might be in our homes here for like a fucking year.
Well, we're certainly going to be here for 2 weeks. I've been here for 7 days. You just got home. You had a whole row to yourself on an airplane.
That's the most room I've had in 2 weeks, is that row on the airplane. Honestly, that's the most privacy I've had. I mean, I have a family member living in the garage, and I said, hey, if you need to crash, worst case scenario. And the person said, okay. And then the quarantine, and then their ability to make money ended because they are a gig worker. So now, that's just, all right. So that's occupied,
Right. So that there went the garage.
There's no space. So now I have to make a studio next to my bed.
Some sort of
God.
You have a walk-in closet.
I gotta evaluate what do I have to say am I funny anymore? Maybe I'm done. I've said what I want to say. Being a mother's fucking hard, being a daughter's fucking hard. How else can I spin it? It sucks. Maybe I have nothing else to say. Maybe I've said my piece and I can die peacefully of COVID-19.
Write another book. Dig into Dave Barry's pocket. Start writing fun books about places you used to go.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. You know that Dave Anthony and Greg Barron did the dollop in a walk-in in like a closet.
That was Walk in the Room they did that in.
Walk in the Room. They did Walk in the Room for years in that closet because it had the best audio.
Yep.
That's nice. That's a podcast. That's not stand-up comedy. They didn't have a show in the closet.
Right. That's because they didn't have an internet connection. Those guys, old school. It was pre-Zoom, man. That's what they're going to be saying. They're going to be saying, "Hey, did you do stand-up pre-Zoom?"
Oh my God.
Hey, do you want to do we still have to do Max Fun Breaks?
Yeah.
It's early, but
it's fun because there's no way for me to get a time code. So this is a whole new fun kind of nightmare.
All right. Well,
what does your timer say on your thing?
It says 16:10.
16:10. Love it. All right.
What do you think of that?
I love it. I'll cut this out too.
Yeah. There you go. What? So you've only been home for a couple days, though, right?
My last set was Sunday at the stand, so like a week ago at 4:15
in the afternoon. See, you're already set up for Zoom. 4:15 in the afternoon. Jesus.
And it's the Brent show, and then I had a spot at the Broadway, but it just felt so. Everyone was starting to quarantine, and I felt like an asshole for being out. So I asked if they could replace me, and he said okay. And then I canceled the next 2 spots, but then the whole city shut down anyway.
Yeah.
So that was, you have no idea how much it hurt to cancel. Like it goes against my DNA. Like I probably should have not flown to New York that last weekend. I probably should have, I may have risked a little bit too much, but in terms of like maybe it's the epicenter. New York City's the epicenter of the coronavirus right now, so if you're there,
it was Seattle.
Pardon?
2 weeks ago it was Seattle.
Yeah, now
so when you left, it wasn't the epicenter.
It was close, and now it really is. And so, if I was still there, maybe I would be, maybe I could contract it. Maybe I have it now and I don't have symptoms.
Not that special. Fuck. None of us are.
I think I'm more special than Rand Paul, and he doesn't have any symptoms, according to him.
So I met my first person who had it the other night. I was at a Zoom party. Yeah, that's right. There's no way, by the way, to write names down, so I'm just going to have to tell you. It was Laura House's birthday.
Yeah.
It was a birthday party. So she was like, how about you guys just all come over to my house via Zoom. So we had a Zoom. Yeah, we had a Zoom party, and we did this awesome thing where everyone got off camera, and then she pretended to wander up, and we all pumped onto camera and went, surprise! It was actually really, really funny. But one of her friends who was at the Zoom party called from his bed. He had hooked up to a ventilator. He had the virus for like a week and a half.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah. So I actually got more information from that guy than I have from any news source.
What's his prognosis? Is it good?
He's okay. Well, first of all, to get the disease this early, there are beds and ventilators. So he's okay.
Dude, this shit is fucking terrifying.
Oh, it's real.
If either of us gets, any kind of sickness in the next couple months, how are we gonna stay at a hospital if we need to stay at a hospital? What's coming down is horrific.
If I'm attached to a ventilator. Just
Pardon?
So I'll be taking a break from this and the Dork Forest if I'm attached to a ventilator.
I doubt it.
Yeah, that's a lie.
You'll be interviewing your nurses.
What do you collect? Anyway.
There's a couple. I feel like we know a lot of clubs that are kind of month to month, and are always hustling and trying to figure out how to get people in there. And are those clubs going to be open?
Well, this is not how I thought the boom would end.
Right. I know.
Yeah. So, but the big chains not paying their staff while they're off is kind of suckage, right?
Yeah.
And setting up GoFundMe's to ask comics.
What big chains?
The one that doesn't book us.
Oh, that chain? Oh, really?
Yeah, big, individual GoFundMe's for each of the towns.
Right.
And I mean, everybody's got a GoFundMe right now, and
I know.
It's just, they have to do, they you know, it is terrifying. I almost lost it a couple of days ago, and then I was like, I felt like if I have a crying jag or if I lose it, I didn't know if I was going to come back, and like if I was going to stay out there. And so I held on just a little bit longer, and I was reminded by our nephew about to be grateful for the fact that I actually have a place to I'm not on the street.
Right.
I have food and water and shelter and somewhere to hide right now for this 8 weeks or whatever as long as it takes. And you see that on the thread. We happen to know a couple of people comics who they're psychics, man. Unfortunately, they are also not optimists. I wish my more optimistic comedian friends were psychics because they're like, do you want to know what's going to happen? And I'm like, well, if you knew it was going to happen, you would have sold on the stocks. But there's the whole thing about how, it's going to go back to normal a little bit. And then there's going to be a resurgence like there is, like if you look at China right now, all of their cases are coming from out of the country. They're having to quarantine people as they come in. They're testing them. They have enough tests to test each and every, and they're like, you have to stay 14 days. We'll see what the test says, but even if your test comes back negative, you got to stay 14 days and then you can go about your life. And so, I mean, it's very much, it's going to change society in a way, but we've been through other things like this historically. It's not like this is going to stay like this for fucking ever.
Right. I mean, people definitely went to nightclubs after the Spanish flu, right?
Right. I mean, it might have taken a couple of years to sort of get the fear out and sort of the social distancing. Because remember Woodrow Wilson's joke? My dad told me Woodrow Wilson's joke.
No, I don't remember Woodrow Wilson's joke, Jack.
Me neither. Here, let me fuck it up for you. There was a bird named Enza. A guy opened a window and in flew Enza.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Woodrow Wilson told a joke, you guys. Yeah.
I really don't want to be conscious right now. I really don't want to be part of this. It's way too stressful. All of the things I use to manage myself are taken away from me. I can't fucking swim. I can't do yoga or, in a group that I'm used to. I got to do it by myself in the room that I'm also spending 20 hours a day in practically.
Right. Did you see Morgan Murphy's tweet about how her phone said that she had been on it for 25 hours?
Out of 24. Oh my God.
Yeah. It's
I might crash. I mean, I might. I don't know that my. I have a weak inner core, and I mean emotionally, and it's being propped up like our economy. My personality is being propped up by stand-up comedy and swimming, and I don't have either of those things anymore. And instead, I'm trapped like a rat, and. I don't know. I may have a total breakdown.
Right. Does your yoga studio, are they going to have an online class?
Probably. I'm going to try an online class tomorrow. But I mean,
it's soothing to see the same faces that you do the class with.
No, I would be happy to explain it myself.
No, I was going to tell a different story, but please talk about it. Yeah. I'm
No.
sorry.
But I mean, I have a hard time just doing shit by myself in a room. I like to have an instructor tell me what to do so I don't have to like motivate myself, because I give up really easily. You know, I'm like, oh, I'm fat, I'm this, I'm that. Well, I forget about it when I'm in a class, you know? And so now I'm just stuck with only my voice all the time. And it's not a good voice.
Oh.
The one that's in here. And it's all I have right now. And it's only like been a week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's also very difficult to be sober right now, but I at least have online gatherings of people.
Mm-hmm.
And they are the same people that I go to those gatherings during the week. And what I see is I'm incredibly antisocial in a group of like-minded individuals. But there is something soothing about seeing those same faces.
Yes.
And so I would recommend trying to see if that class because you'll just be a relief. You're like, hey, there's that woman who vaguely irritates me. Or there's that one guy who is constantly riffing. And you're just like, oh, Christ. But there they are.
Right.
And there's something to that. The other thing I was thinking about doing, what do you guys think about this? Little comedy brunch.
Oh,
Little Zoom comedy brunch. Anybody?
super down.
Super down for that? I mean, I can't make any food.
Any activity that starts with the word Zoom is not exciting to me.
What about Zumba?
Right. What about what? Zumba. Right. And your guy who helps you build stuff, he was supposed to be at our house on Monday, and he said this a week ago, and I was like, he's not coming, and he called and he said, no, of course we're coming. We're going to be outside. We're not going to be next to you. And then an hour later he said, none of my guys will come work with me. And so I was like, yeah, that's because they're not dum-dums. And several of those guys live with their elderly parents and expose themselves to such a thing. And what they're doing is they're just setting up my garden. I cannot get through to my garden center. Everybody, and I'm fucking sick of the end days jokes, man. Save your ironic dark shit for 2021, man. But the
noted.
And so I was going to put my garden in this week, my vegetable garden. And Andy's like, well, maybe William will come by himself and do it. And I'm like, maybe he will. Or maybe I'll just fucking drive by Sago and ask them if they'll bring me some tomato plants out to the road, and I can give them my credit card number over the phone. And, because I want vegetables in 4 months, like I usually do,
Yeah.
We ordered groceries for the first time. Delivered.
How'd that work?
It took 2 days. So start early.
So you and Andy haven't physically left the house at all for anything?
We went he went to the groceries. So what happened was last Sunday, I flew back from Bloomington. And so and we recorded that night, didn't we?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I've already explained what Dayton and Bloomington were doing. So he picks me up from the airport. I walk in the house. I drop all of my clothes into the washer. I take a bath. I brush my teeth. And then, and so that was the last time I was out of the house. He went to the grocery store and bought a bunch of food that day. The next day we left the house was, I believe, Friday, when we went to the secret Target by our house. Not that big of a secret. And not rolling with humanity, but it was almost impossible to stay 3 to 6 feet away from everyone.
Right.
So when we left, we were both a little twitchy. And so I got back from Target, stripped my clothes, went into the bath. But Andy's run he's jogged 25 miles already this month. That's insane. Because he doesn't jog. I mean, he jogs. He usually jogs like maybe 4 miles a week, or maybe 6 miles a week. But it's nothing like what he's been jogging, just to try to get his he's got endorphins or whatever the fuck. I exercise.
Pheromones.
Pheromones.
That would make him pretty horny, Jackie. I mean, maybe you want that.
We can only hope. But I see why people in jail exercise. Like there's nothing to fucking do. I walked around the block today, Laurie Martin. That's right.
I'm trying to get 10,000 steps in a day. So I have to maybe make a routine or something, but I've been getting up and walking for like an hour and then starting whatever my day was. I moved my rowing machine that was hidden under, in the back of whatever. I moved it to the front porch and I chained it to the porch and locked it. Yeah. So I don't think anyone would steal it, but who knows? And so I was rowing on the porch this morning. That was kind of cool. It wasn't terrible. But again, it's like I still have this head talking to me the whole time.
Yeah. It's a terrible neighborhood. Your brain.
It is. And it is. And I was gonna take another walk tonight. It's raining pretty hard, and maybe I'll just walk in the rain. I don't care. Why not?
Just do a couple of laps outside and try not to get a cold, because then you'll just think, "Oh, I've got the thing."
Yes, I know. I've constantly worried that I had it.
Right. Hey, let's do comic of the week, you guys. We're at 32.
Okay.
And it was going to be Thea, right?
That's
Thea,
right. Thea Lux. I for a second I thought, wait, did we looked at two others that we didn't? We're like, oh wait, those are sketch actors. Never mind. And then you said Thea, and I thought we'd already done Thea, but no, we haven't.
We had two, but I don't think we have. And if we have, he joins a small group like Jenny Zagrino. The group of some people have done twice, but I don't think we have done Thea. She's really funny. She runs that Geeky Teas thing. And Geeky Teas, by the way, they sent out a blast email saying that if you bought a board game from them, someone would deliver it to your porch in cosplay.
Interesting.
Yeah, good for them, Geeky Teas, trying to stay open.
Yeah. Jackie, I've been buying things left and right. I've been buying books at independent bookstores, there's like lists of independent bookstores you can find. And there's a coffee shop like maybe a mile and a half from here I've been walking to in the morning. You have to, you fill out an order online, and then they hand it. It's like touchless service where they hand you your latte, and everyone's, there's like 3 people, but everyone's like 10 feet apart from each other. And then you grab your latte and go. And I mean, I feel like this obligation to buy shit from, anyone that's open, because I still have a job and they're trying to stay open.
Right. Well, that's true. Andy went out and he picked up 2 takeouts. He went to a local chicken place and got chicken the first day. And then he went to an Armenian place called Hake's Cakes. Comic Mary Basmajian told me about it, and it was delicious. We're still eating. He got like a thing of lavash, a pile of pilaf that we're still eating off, some lulu kebab, which is ground chicken meatballs, and then a tray of dolmades. And she threw in, though, a loaf of this sweetbread that I was like, the hell is this? It took us several days to figure out what it was. I remember it from church. It turns out self-launched Armenian version of kata is nothing like the actual version of kata. So
I don't know what kata is either.
It is a vaguely sweet bread, but it's not too sweet, and it's flaky, and oh my God, it's so freaking delicious and just amazing. And weirdly enough, we found 3 boxes of Girl Scout cookies in our freezer.
Oh my God. What a find. Wow. Amazing.
Yeah. And my sister-in-law for this is how we might be doing this too, is my sister-in-law for Christmas sent us something called Yum Universal or something like that. And it's candy and chips from a different country every 2 months.
Oh, okay.
We got one of those boxes the other day, and it was from Brazil. And the last one was from France. And they're just different French candies and chips. And he likes potato chips, so he's got something to eat. I want more chicken. It's really hard to get meat.
Yeah. Is it?
I guess. They didn't have any ground beef. I wanted to make chili. We had a hunk of ham in the freezer, too. I thought that. I made a ham soup.
Mm.
What do you do?
I don't know how to cook. See, I
gave you that Irish Bible cookbook.
You did?
I did. Look for it. You'll
All
like
right. It's not satisfying to me to cook. I really don't. Jackie, I only like 3 things on earth, and they've all been taken from me. I'm not spreading my wings. I'm not going to learn new shit. All right. That's not my personality.
Except for when I think about your career and I think about all the things you have learned, I was telling somebody, I think it was my sister, I was talking to about your situation, and she said, she's a goddamn hero. She's a saint. And I was like, yes, she is both of those. And I don't know.
What do you mean, the living situation?
Yeah. The fact that you are now living in essentially 12 feet. And you can turn, this is like a studio apartment in New York. You can turn around. So, yeah. So you're a fucking hero. So
I did put little lights around my my mirror. That's I did that.
I insist that you have Oh shit! It's knocked over my. We're all supposed to be drinking hot liquids every 20 minutes. Did you hear about that?
I saw you post that. I don't know what that means. It sounds like some crackpot shit you picked up on the internet, but please explain.
It's my hippie doctors are letting me in on it. I just spilled something, but I don't have a towel in here. It seems rude to leave you. Yes. Talk amongst
you're sitting on a bed, right?
Yeah.
Can you just use your cover, your bed cover, to clean up that?
Kind of animal.
That's what I would do.
I believe it.
This is about what it normally is. I'm glad it hasn't changed the show that much.
She does storm off every once in a while to get a towel.
She's a lady who needs a towel. Oh, she should rip that off from Craig Robinson and just start showing up with a small towel on stage.
Small towel.
Oh, does he sweat a lot?
I don't know. He just always has a towel. And I think it's a good look.
Huh.
Not a lot of people can carry it.
Jackie, I was thinking, one of the best shows I've had, this year was a Saturday night for a show at Acme.
Oh, yeah.
And I was just thinking, is that my last kill? Was that my last kill and I didn't know it? I mean, I have it recorded. I could listen to it when I'm, in my 80s. But
oh my God!
Because here's the thing: I've always since the aneurysm, I've been thinking this could be taken away from me in a second, right? For health reasons. Who knows, right? I didn't think it would be taken away from everybody all at once. This is totally different type of
solace. They're taking it from everyone. It isn't just you.
I know, but I mean the grief. There's some grief with this kind of loss of something that I love so much.
Yeah, and
it's like
the thing is,
my husband died, and you're already telling me to date, get on Tinder. No, I'm still bummed.
Right, I should give you some time to grieve. Would you like some time to grieve? Please use that as a note, Kyle. Time to grieve. So
tell me about this hot water bullshit. By the way, as I drink my ice water, I love ice water. You'll never take ice cubes from me.
That's because of global warming, they're discontinuing ice. You're fucked. Here's the scoop. The virus itself, the COVID-19, and anybody who calls it the Chinese thing can eat it. So the disease, it affects the lungs. They've autopsied like a dozen people in China, and it's super mucousy. So what you have to make sure is that your passages are cleaned up. So they recommend every 20 minutes drinking this hot water for a couple of reasons. One, it cleans out your sinuses a little bit to have, and it makes sure you're hydrated. And you should gargle every day with something astringent. They said salt, lemon, or vinegar. Just gargle once a day, and just to keep your throat clear as well. And then you drink this like something hot, whether it's coffee. I drink a lot of coffee. Tea, or just hot water with lemon or hot water. And it keeps the mucus down, and it gets any bacteria that might be in your mouth into your stomach, and the acids kill it there. So it's supposed to be good for you. Anyway,
but all right, I'm so dumb. Coronavirus isn't bacteria, right? It's a virus, so that really doesn't.
Well, if there's bacteria in your mouth, I mean, this is in addition to, you're supposed to be washing your hands in your own home. I just sprayed down everything with bleach, all of my doorknobs and my mail.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I did a deep clean of the bathroom. I wanted to do a deep clean of the living room when NPR Live from Here asked me to do a quarantine art, like hotel art.
Oh.
So I did the art that was in the corner by my computer, and in one of the videos, you could just see the dust underneath. Fuck. Oh, I'm watching more television.
Hey, thank God.
Finally getting to see, but I'm not watching anything good. Nothing anybody else wants to ever watch.
Are you watching Outlander?
Nope. I tried to watch it. I also tried to read it. It didn't take, but it does look very beautiful.
I swear it's right up your alley.
I know, one would think so. But what I am watching is something called Miss Fisher's Horrible Mysteries or something like that. It's Australian. It's on, the 2 seasons are free on Amazon Prime. And it's set in 1920 Melbourne. And it's this woman, lady detective. And so it is awesome. It could not be, first of all, it's shot like it's a play, Miss Fisher's Horrible Mysteries or whatever it's called. And it's shot it has that vibe. The costumes are gorgeous. I just got, my nephew's girlfriend just texted me and said, hey, have you ever seen this Miss Maisel? And I'm like, hey, guess what the last thing I want to do is watch someone else get to do stand-up comedy.
Oh my God, exactly. Please.
Right? And yeah, I mean, so that's the only thing that we've watched, and binging is just 2 shows a night, I don't want to watch too much.
I know.
I don't want to be on Twitter too much. I don't want to be on Facebook too much. I don't want to watch too much TV. And I don't want, so what we've got some music playing.
Yeah.
For a portion of the day. Andy goes running. A schedule's super important. Make your bed. Put pants on.
I think that's true. Yeah.
So that's what I've been lasting in pants until 4 p.m. From about 9 or 10 in the morning until about 4 or 5 p.m. and then it's PJs. Yeah. And after this, I'm gonna take a bath, and I'm gonna go read a romance novel. Yep.
This is so much harder than having a job and having too much to do. For me, I feel
Yeah.
I feel flattened. I feel like I just got run over, and now I'm supposed to pick myself up. And it's weird. I'm in a house. I have a house. I have a place to live. I have my job. Everything is continuing. I'm not even in that kind of stress. It's just the I feel like all my utensils have been taken from me, and I'm supposed to eat, and I just I don't feel like myself.
I think you're right. I think you need a minute to grieve, and then I think you're in that daze. I was in a daze for the first 3 days, and then I was like, trying to cheer myself up. Okay, here's an anecdote. Oh wait, let's do another Max Fun break. Here's where we're at. We are at 45.
All right, cool.
So one time I'm in Provincetown, Massachusetts, and this guy who I worked at with the hot dog stand, we went for a ride, and his car broke down, and neither of us had AAA because we were children, because we were very young and dumb, and so there was a moment when he started to get irritated, and so I did some sort of weird clown thing where I was just trying to get everybody in a better mood, like I'm the child of divorced parents, like I am. And it turns out we all have to cheer each other up. And so, I know. There's no point to this fuck. I'm so sorry. I did. I got 2 interviews with 2 different newspapers who were like, jokes in this world, what's it gonna be like?
My mom pulled out your article for the LA Times, Jackie, and gave it to me.
Awesome.
And then the Minneapolis Star Tribune, it might come out when this comes out, but she was like, well, what do you think? Because I had somebody call me, and I wish I could write down his name because it was a comic, and he was freaking out. And I was like, he's like, I don't know what to do. And I said, we're not doctors or scientists, so we can't actually, and he's a fix-it guy, right?
Yeah.
You're a fix-it person. You want to fix things. And so you can't fix this, which has got to drive you nuts. But you have other skills, and those skills are to make people laugh and to cheer people up. And I think that's all I can do right now. And get this, I'm just going to say it. It's Andrew Solomson. He's a networking IT guy.
Yeah.
He's making sure everybody's online. There's very little that's more essential. There's only doctors and nurses that are more essential than that. And
right.
There's food people, medical people, and IT people. Those are the essential jobs right now. And of course, trucking and transportation to do with all of those things. But I was like, I can only do the thing that might help, that is my job, which is to sort of be a fucking clown, I guess. I don't know. But I'm not, I can sometimes get overwhelmed by it, but then I remind myself that, I do have family members, I do have friends, I do have people who love me, who will support me and try to cheer me up too. Because sometimes I need the pep talk, right?
Right. Yeah.
There's some songs. You do it, Kyle.
Oh my God, that was the most perfect reaction. Trying to not or say I'll be your friend over here, and just dead-eyed Laurie, just cool.
Cool. We're all working on it.
Damn it, that was fun.
Oh my God, we have another 10 minutes of this, by the way.
What are we gonna talk about next week? How
Well, you've written at least you've written 2 books. One of my brothers was like, do you have a book in you? Could you write a book? And I was like, hey, do you know what I have in me? A week of sleep. That's what I've got in me. How would I catch up on some, not be afraid to nap? Never be afraid to take a walk or take a nap, I say.
I did. I took my fire alarm video and I finished captioning it and I put it up.
Oh, good.
That was it.
I put Horcrux up, the DVD.
Yeah. Are people buying it or watching it, or?
You're watching it. Some people are sending me some money via Venmo,
That's
which
good.
is good. I'm looking forward to getting my sound exchange money sometime in the next couple of days.
That hasn't been. Yeah, I did hire that the comedian to the comic that I told you about to write down all my track times and stuff like that, and I'll see about getting. It's weird. I was like, oh, I don't want to release this album because I'll still be doing this material for a while. Will I?
Right.
Will I?
Right.
I mean, the other thing is like, I look at the stuff I was working on before this, and or the stuff that I have, that's my act, and I'm like, is this even? Who cares? Is it appropriate now? Who fucking cares right now?
Right.
We're about to drown in a tsuami. I'm going to complain that I have custody of my child. Who fucking cares?
Write that down. I'd like.
How can I keep doing that joke or any joke? I mean, no, I just mean like from here on out, is the worldview going to be so different that the stuff that I spent, many years honing, does it even matter anymore?
Well,
maybe it'll be fine. I don't know.
I think people will definitely want to hear that album now, for sure.
Yeah.
And what I do think, that's an interesting question though. Think about in the 30s.
Yeah.
When it was so desperate times everywhere around the world. And the comedy that came out of that was so interesting. And it changed, but it wasn't like, I guess
it was really silly. Like, do you mean like screwball comedy? And I can't remember. Was Buster Keaton the late 20s or early 30s?
It was the 20s that was all screwball comedy and all physical comedy. The 30s was all sort of that His Girl Friday, more.
That was kind of screwball though, wasn't it?
Well, it was kind of honking. I watched His Girl Friday and Some Like It Hot the other day, and while I'm watching these two movies, Andy said to me, "These are romantic comedy."
But Some Like It Hot is from the 60s, Jackie.
And
no, Some Like It Hot, I think is the 60s. Or I think it's really 60s. Yeah.
I thought
he
died. But it was
honestly,
in black and white.
No, Some Like It.
Jackie, 2 weeks from now, or maybe, next month, this country could be at 30% unemployment.
Mm-hmm.
That's what a government, somebody who works in the government for Trump was saying, which is, when all that's happening to so many people,
mm-hmm.
The audience, the jokes that you've been working on during a booming economy, assume that everyone's sort of okay. And now we can kind of assume that most people, or a huge amount of people, are not going to be okay. And does that change your stance on stage as to how you relate to people? Not that we're even on stage. And the stuff that I was, concerned about, is it still worth being concerned about when so many people are hurting in such a bigger way? Like, will it even feel necessary to laugh at that stuff? Like, I almost feel like it
might change your set, but
yeah, a lot of our stuff would be changed just by the circumstances of so many people in this country and the world. But
well, we changed
in a way.
That's every year, every 4 years for sure, because of presidential elections.
Yeah, but there's but there's still a continuity to even presidential elections. Even having this maniac in charge, it's like, all right, we'll suck it up for 4 years. Like it's in our DNA to every 4 years try to change it, right? But this is bigger than our national DNA. This is
1929. This is huge.
Yeah, and it hasn't completely happened yet.
No,
it's also the thing of it's on its way, and
but the thing is that it also, everybody lived, not everybody. Some people died, but
a lot of people didn't. Yeah.
Right, but the country still remained. Humanity still existed.
Yeah.
horrible things like plagues and quarantines and depressions and crashes and unemployment, and all of those things have happened before. And comics, and just to bring it back to comedy, comics change with it, and the stand-up, and because we're stand-up, so we got to talk stand-up, not sort of like, I don't want to watch any of the disaster movies. I own a copy of Idiocracy. I'm not putting it in. It's not happening, right?
Right.
I don't want to watch some dystopian future. I saw T2 Fate on the plane about a month ago. I wouldn't watch that movie on a bet right now. I don't want to see anything dark. I want to see everything fearful, because I'm just trying to keep my spirits up. But I will give you hope, is the fact that this too will pass, and your stand-up will change with it, or mine will, and I believe in yours as well, because the way you write, the change in the way you've written from 4 years ago is noticeable to me, because I'm from the outside looking in.
Yeah,
and it's different, and it's a delight to watch you. Remember,
no, I'm not. I wasn't trying to take things this direction.
Well, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what you wanted to say. Go ahead.
No. I feel like things just started changing, right? And they're about to change dramatically, and it's weird. It feels weird for me to react to it already, because it's not finished yet, in a way.
Oh, right. Right.
And I
like, how can I react to it? It's not done.
Yeah, it's like making jokes about a car crash that's the person just ran the red light, but the crash hasn't happened yet.
Right.
Plus, you should wait a day before you make fun of the car crash. Just out of politeness. But I don't know. I mean, I admire the people that are immediately flipping into, Zoom sets and doing whatever they're doing live and all that kind of stuff. And I mean, there's also comics that are very nimble on Instagram and feel comfortable on it and feel comfortable with video much more than I do and ever have. So it's like, oh, first of all, I got to fucking flip to something I don't enjoy.
Well, here's
which is video.
Right.
And then there's like, what's the take? What's my take too, as well? Yeah.
I'll say this. One of the reasons why I'm willing to do Zoom or anything is that it's my income.
Yeah.
My only income.
Yes. Yep.
So I will fucking piss on a spark plug, to quote a movie called War Games, which I would watch again. But the thing is it is, yeah, I'll do any set. I need to make money. I can't not have an income, right?
Right.
So that's what drove me, in addition to loving stand-up, is the need to make a living. Made me take gigs I wouldn't, who wants to go to fucking Tulsa and get groped by Randy Longhair? Nobody. But I'm willing to do it because the guy paid $1,200 for the weekend. Huh? What am I, Rockefeller? And so
yeah. No, and that's an interesting point, because I have an income right now.
Yeah.
And so, and I have for a while, and I've always done, like, since I started writing full time and having a kid. When I started writing full time at Tough Crowd, I didn't have a kid, and it was like, I do two things and that's fine and whatever. But then when I had a kid, it's like, okay, the writing is the full-time job because it takes care of the kid, and that's fine. And then stand up, I'm not going to let go of stand up. I'm going to keep it going. And I love stand up. And so I burned the candle at both ends, but it was because I love stand up. Well, I don't fucking love Zoom.
You don't know.
I'm like, am I going to burn a candle at both ends for Zoom? I don't like it that much. And I don't like where all this is going. And so I guess that puts me in a different, if this was my only income,
you would definitely do it if it were your only income, because you still have to feed that kid.
Yes.
But what you have to do is you have to find out if you, I mean, I think you're still in the processing of it. You just said it yourself, you know? You're going to find out if you still want to do stand-up. You're going to find out if you still...
Jackie, I know I want to do stand-up. This isn't stand-up.
Well, the thing is you can't define it. It's like saying Hannah Gatsby isn't stand-up.
Yes, I can. I can say stand-up is standing up in front of an audience of strangers. That's is stand-up comedy.
That's what it was.
That's what it is. And we're not allowed to do it. So we're coming up with something new, but that's not stand-up.
That's what I did this afternoon at 2:00. I stood up in front of a bunch of people I don't know, 75 of them, who were in this Zoom meeting, and I did stand-up comedy.
That's in front of a monitor. It's different. It's not. You know it's different.
No, I don't know that. You could say that I'm wrong and that you don't agree, but I can know that I'm right, and you don't have to agree.
I don't agree.
That's fine. Don't sweat it. Anyway, do you want to call it, Kyle?
Yeah, I think that's a good spot to end.
That's a horrible.
Well,
we're at a minute one.
It's like a cereal. We got to keep them coming back every week.
Well, will there be a next week, guys?
Probably.
Hey, bye.
Like, I like to think about how we go back 2 weeks into everything being back going, oh, I hate everything again. All right, I'm going to